Hello, my name is Joe Rep. Welcome to Team Whatever and to the pitch. Today's episode is gonna be a little different. I say that at the beginning of every episode. I will probably never make a normal episode of the pitch. I'm not sure what you guys expect a normal episode of the pitch to be, but I imagine none of these are it. Somehow. Today I'm just talking about something that I care about, and that is YouTube fan communities. Well, really the act of being a fan. How to be a fan. Also, I should note that I am recording this episode a little early, so maybe things have blown over, but at least where I am, everyone is freaking out because YouTube is dying because they're censoring everybody. It's not censoring, technically, but no one cares, they're calling it censoring. So maybe YouTube is dying, so I'm gonna keep the terminology general. This is about internet fan communities. It's about YouTubers, though. This video is gonna be a little more personal than I think the usual ideas I discuss on here are, because being a fan on YouTube is kind of my life. That's very sad, but it's kind of true. I've made friends with creators, I've talked to creators that aren't really my friends, I've talked to fans, I've made friends with other fans. It's not necessarily criticizing how other fans do anything. I mean, except for the points in the video where I do that. It's not really meant to tell you how to live your life or how you interact with other people on the internet. As long as you're not like being a super obsessive, creepy stalker fan, I have no huge problems with how other fans do things. You do whatever you want, how you want. I don't care. As long as, just don't be a creepy stalker fan though. Like, don't just show up on YouTubers' doorsteps and be like, "Hello, PewDiePie, please sign my face." YouTubers do not usually appreciate that. So don't do it. So now that we've got that basic ground rule out of the way, let's talk about my first tip. Stalk them. Yep. But like legitimately, I mean like on Twitter. If you follow people on other platforms like Facebook and Twitter, you're more likely to actually interact with them than you are in the actual YouTube comments section. Of course, if you're on Twitter, there's always the chance that you're like me and the quality filter is filtering your comments out of people's notifications, and so you can't talk to people on there either. But, I don't remember what I was talking about. Let's move on to the content, because a lot of the time when you're talking about a community centered around a creator, you're going to be talking about the content that creator produces. If you boil down the relationship between fans and creators, it's very much an exchange of time for content. Maybe it should be that way, maybe it shouldn't. That's a conversation for another day. But content is still going to be central to a lot of stuff, so it's worth talking about how one interacts with that content. So how should you interact with the content? Good question. I think a lot of creators really want constructive criticism. Tell them what's good about the video, tell them what's bad about the video. Honestly, just be honest about the video without being, a jerk. If you don't like something, explain why. Don't just say you suck and leave. I think creators really appreciate that, honestly, more than anything. And if you do like something, great, be encouraging. Just explain the good and the bad in a concise comment and you're good to go. Alternatively, you can always just make jokes about the content. A lot of YouTubers like memes, so just make memes off of what they say, reference other memes, and unless they're blimey cow and they just don't understand any of your references, then you're probably gonna be good. All things change over time, and YouTube is no exception. So what should you do when YouTubers start making content that's different from the content that you really love from them? What do you do then, Jack? Eventually, even the most bottom of the barrel scraping YouTubers will usually have a moment where they have a genuinely creative idea and they work really hard to make that idea happen. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes fans like it, but more often than not, fans are jerks and they say, no, make things go back to the way they were before it got ruined. Something that's particularly annoying to me is that I feel like more often than not, people saying, ugh, I don't like it, just make your same usual stuff, correlates directly with the creators actually putting more time and creativity into their stuff. And that is very sad to me. I think more fans should be supportive of creators trying new things and trying to actually be creative and put more work into stuff. Like I said, you should still be honest in your criticism of things, but at least give new things a chance. Don't just hate on new things because they're not the old things. That's stupid, it's entitled. Creators can make what they want, and they should make whatever they feel inspired to make, so don't pressure them into making something that they don't enjoy making as much. That's just rude. Before we move on, there's one more thing about talking about people's content that I feel like I need to put in here. Don't plug your channel in the comments of other people's channels. Like, if you're having a conversation with somebody and it comes up, fine, but don't just go through comments responding to everybody and be like, hey, if you like this video, you'll love my video. Stop promoting your own channel in the comments. Speaking of other people in the comments, let's talk about the community. Because when you're a fan, you're always not just an individual person, you're part of a collective. Communities can be vastly different across the internet. Some are full of nice, lovely, wonderful people. Others are full of self-loathing memers. Sometimes fan communities are just filled with weirdos and jerks. I think it's important to remember you are part of a bigger picture. If you're going to spend time being a fan on the internet, it's stupid to shut yourself off from the community, which I actually did for a long time. Like, I was a fan of Blimey Cow for a long while before I started interacting with other people that also liked Blimey Cow. And when I did, I discovered a lot of other creators I liked. I discovered a lot of other interesting, fun, creative people. Even if you are in a community that's just a bunch of hateful, annoying people, remember that your voice matters too. You can help change that. Just because your comment is different from all the comments under a YouTube video doesn't mean it doesn't matter. And I think that is also important to remember. Jumping topics again, let's talk about stuff like Patreon. Honestly, people making money helps them make better content. And I think it's dumb that it's current year and people still have this stigma about, well, if you're making money doing something you love, then you're a sellout. It's dumb, and I wish it would stop. That's my final points. In conclusion, don't be like me, get a life, make friends outside of the internet. Also, check out my other channels. That's all. Bye-bye! Alternative. Okay, you good? Fine. I don't know what's up with my humor today. I'm just saying random crap. Hopefully this video's not horrible. I keep looking at the little camera display instead of the lens. I hate that, but I have to keep the display up because my camera keeps stopping recordings at weird times, so I have to know so that I don't just look at the lens. Otherwise people are gonna be like, what's he looking at? Is he looking at a teleprompter? No, the teleprompter's over here. And it's too far away, I can't actually read it.